The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Wednesday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN, 8:30 a.m. Wednesday morning, 60 minutes to go until that opening bell, and we got markets in higher territory across the board. Right now, you're looking at Dow futures up 143 points. That's about 0.5% in the green, trading 28,051. S&P's edging up about 18 points, trading at 34.13. Got the NASDAQ futures positive by 35, trading at 11,485. The Russell positive as well by about 9 points, trading at 1546. Commodities, you got gold catching a little bit of a bid, trading up about $13 on the session right now. Gold trading at $19.79, climbing towards the highs we had yesterday, $19.82. Crude oil up 86 cents right now at $39.14. Crude up almost $2 from where we were early yesterday morning. We'll get EIA inventories 10:30 a.m. this morning. I'll be on the air for those this morning. As we covered, gold was up as well. Silver up 18 cents, trading $27.65. And as we come on the air, retail sales coming out right at 8:30 in the morning. We'll bring that number over. Retail sales rising 0.6% in August. The market was looking for a rise of about 1%, so missing the number a bit. Still a rise, under 1%. Market looking for 1%. We come in at 0.6%. Jumping over to the S&Ps to see how it's digesting that number right off the bat. S&Ps 34.11, little bit of a dip. We were just trading at about 34.13, so S&P's edging down about 2 points on those retail sales numbers. Should be an interesting morning. We got a lot of news coming out today, folks. What else we got happening? We'll jump over to the headlines we got going on, and we'll start it off with the Fed. The Fed, we got an announcement, 2 p.m. Eastern time today. They're going to weigh near zero interest rates through 2023. That is the expectation. All but assured that they will keep rates at basically zero in the target range of 0 to 0.25%, where it's been since March 15th. That announcement coming at 2 p.m. Eastern time. There'll be a press conference 30 minutes later at 2:30 Eastern time. As they say over in the Bloomberg article, officials are expected to project rates staying near zero through 2023. Pretty remarkable, right? It's 2020, so you're talking about more than 3 years of zero interest rates is the expectation that they will be coming with. A lot of the focus will be whether Chairman Powell is going to be talking about reinforcing the message delivered by Powell in late August that they will delay tightening policy and achieve inflation that averages 2% over the time. That new strategy, right, that was just announced is going to tolerate inflation shooting to make up for past misses and explicitly views maximum employment as a broad-based and inclusive goal. So market going to be waiting for that at 2 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see how that shakes out. All right, what else we got going on in the markets? We'll jump around. JP Morgan out there saying $200 billion may flow out of stocks this quarter. At first glance, I said that's not that big of a number, $200 billion. I mean, you talk about, we got companies like Apple topping $2 trillion in market cap alone, but nonetheless, pension and sovereign wealth funds are set to offload about $200 billion of equities as they rebalance their portfolios, posing a risk for global shares, according to JP Morgan. This would be the most negative quarterly adjustment since the pandemic hit. They got one of their strategists saying yesterday, overall figure stems from calculations spanning U.S. defined benefit pension portfolios, Japan's government pension investment fund, and Norway's oil fund. So that in the mix this morning. Jumping over to Amazon. So yesterday, you had Walmart Plus launching their service, $98 a year. They're going to be competing directly with Amazon Prime. Today, you got Amazon. How about 1,000 warehouses? So these are going to be a little bit smaller, small shipping hubs around the U.S. They have to get a physical locations to compete with the number of locations that you're talking about. Walmart has. They're seeking to compete with Walmart on same-day deliveries. They're going to be opening small shipping hubs around the U.S., 1,000 small delivery hubs in cities and suburbs all over the U.S., according to people familiar with the plans. The facilities, which will eventually number about 1,500, will bring products closer to customers, making shopping online about as fast as a quick run to the store. Amazon couldn't fulfill its 2-day delivery pledge earlier this year when COVID hit. While delivery times have improved, thanks to hiring 175,000 workers, Amazon's now consumed with honoring a pre-pandemic pledge to get many products to Prime subscribers on the same day. So that's in the mix. We'll see how that shakes out. Amazon rocking and rolling in a big way. We'll jump over to their shares. And before we do, you're seeing a little bit of a sell-off right now coming in on those retail sales numbers. You're off about 5 points on the S&P. You got the NASDAQ futures up about 20 right now. Dow up 89 points currently. Amazon shares trading up a bit from 31.56 to 31.75 this morning. Jumping around to what else we have going on. All right, we got to cover FedEx. Talk about some big numbers. Speaking of retail sales, speaking of Walmart, FedEx crushes it out of the park last night. They beat on profit. They beat on revenue as pandemic drives e-commerce bounce, getting into the mix. Average daily package volume for FedEx Ground, which handles e-commerce deliveries for retailers like Walmart, jumped 31% to 11.6 million. That's average daily package volume during the first quarter, which ended August 31st. Getting into the raw numbers. Come on, they're down here. There we go. First quarter adjusted net income jumped 60% to $1.28 billion. That's $4.87 a share. Revenue rising 13.5% to $19.3 billion. The market was only looking for $2.69 or $17.55 billion. So you beat to the tune of about $1.8 billion, 1.75 billion to be exact, to the top line, and you beat to the tune of, you're talking about $1.28 billion in profit. I mean, earnings per share, you almost doubled it. Pretty remarkable. And you see the headlines popping up, market pulling back, consumer spending appearing to slow in August, with retail sales only rising 0.6%. Interesting getting that retail sales number, of course, ahead of a Fed decision and a Fed press conference. I'm sure Chairman Powell, he'll have a few questions having to do with retail sales, a possible slowdown, how that may affect things. I imagine, folks, when you get into things, that you're going to see Chairman Powell handle that press conference pretty strongly in terms of the messaging that he's going to deliver. Rates are staying low. They're staying low for many years in the future, at least through 2023. Shouldn't be too surprising, but nonetheless, we're going to get a press conference. He's going to have some questions to answer, and we'll see how that all shakes out. All right, jumping around to the VIX this morning. 25.38 right now, actually made it down to 24 handle very briefly at about 8 a.m. That low of 24.92, right down near that level, and you see the spike on that retail sales number. I mean, still strong numbers, folks. We are actually above pre-COVID levels still. 3408, 3400 was where we were pre-pandemic levels. We were just down at 3300 as of Friday, so we've added more than 100 S&P futures points, S&P points, since just Friday from where we were. Putting things on a daily basis for some context. I mean, you just could call this a little bit of a chop going on here. Pretty interesting when you talk about we're only 48, 49 days out from the presidential election. Stay tuned, folks. We come back from the break, see what else we have on tap. You had Adobe earnings last night after the bell. We got a lot of stocks with action this morning. We'll be right back in 3 minutes to go over it all.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my gold report. The gold report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The gold report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the gold report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the gold report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. Jumping over to the FedEx chart. Never quite made it there on those strong numbers, but there you go, folks. We're up about $21. You're talking about 8 to 9% right away on those numbers. Strong numbers in a big way on FedEx. You've backed off a bit from the overnight highs of about 261 to 256. Be interesting to see how the retail sales maybe affect a company like FedEx. Strong numbers. Can't quite beat in a bigger way than that. Almost double the earnings. Beat by the tune of about $1.7 billion on revenue. Crushing it out of the park. Jumping over to even a company like UPS, you see the acceleration they had, similar fashion, just trading higher on FedEx numbers. Just for some quick context here when you look at things. So here's a chart of UPS on a daily, right? Talk about accelerating. Pre-COVID, you're at 120. You go to 82, you're trading at 160. FedEx, on the other hand, pre-COVID, you're trading at 160. You're at 236. Now, context here, you put this on a 3-year weekly, though. FedEx, the recent highs of 274.66, not quite up there. We're going to challenge almost within about $20 of that level. But look at UPS. Talk about an acceleration. UPS, you back it up 3 years. The high was only 135. You're trading at 161.53. And this morning, you're up as high as about 167 on UPS. It's a good time to be delivering packages for companies as everybody is shopping online during that pandemic, this pandemic. All right, what else we got going on? Head on over to the TFNN.com Facebook page, folks. You just head on over to Facebook, search for TFNN. Yesterday, Tom O'Brien, my dad, he was on there on the TD Ameritrade Network, Midday Movers. He was talking with Ben Lichtenstein, and they had a great segment going over some of this stuff. I'll expand this. They were talking about Adobe earnings. They were talking about the Fed, FOMC, interest rates. They were talking about the FedEx numbers coming out. Well, now, this was before the market yesterday. But we share a lot of what we do on our Facebook page, whether it's the programs we have going on, Twitter as well. All right. Now, I encourage you, head on over there, like our page. All right. That way you get to see everything we're doing. Twitter as well. Head on over. We share a lot of what we do on Twitter. And the most important of all, if you're going to choose, head on over to YouTube. Search for TFNN. Here's our channel. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel completely free. When you head over there, all the videos we do, they're archived. You just select the video tab. And all the programs we have here, folks, all archived. So, of course, we have everything we do on the TFNN.com page. okay, in terms of archives. But another way to do that, right on over to YouTube. All the programs, all the interviews we have, right, easily accessible on our YouTube page. Again, just subscribe, easy access, completely free over at the YouTube channel at TFNN. And there's a quick glimpse of Tom on the TD Ameritrade Trade Network yesterday. All right, jumping around to other headlines out there. Boeing continuing to face some woes, not too surprising. You got a congressional report out there faulting Boeing and the FAA for 737 MAX failures, just as regulators close in on recertification. So the House Committee's report detailed multiple missteps by Boeing and the FAA in development and approval of the 737 MAX. You got a 238-page report out there outlining design flaws and immense pressure on employees amid competition from rival Airbus. The lawmakers found the FAA failed to protect the traveling public, in part because of excessive delegation of certification work to Boeing. I mean, it's beyond abysmal, appalling across the board. FAA, folks, it was supposed to be the world premier regulatory body for flight travel, and basically they were just delegating that certification work to Boeing itself. We all know how that ended up. Unfortunately, a massive loss of life in two different planes that should not have been operating in what they were. And nonetheless, that report out there this morning, and Boeing, there's your action on Boeing so far. Now, this is going back 3-year weekly, okay? You see we were up to 446, folks, when this first started. Pretty remarkable that you're talking about that the 737 MAX saga began in February of 19. Folks, we're talking about more than a year and a half ago, and we're still getting headlines from this. We're still getting reports from this. All right, the stock really was not that affected, though. It traded down to about 350. They probably would have rebounded from that saga alone. Of course, then COVID hits. Things really collapsed from about 350 down to a low of 89. This morning, we'll zoom it into a 15-minute. We're down a bit, probably on that report, trading at 160, 155 on Boeing. And yeah, Boeing is going to be around, folks. It is not going anywhere. But they may have a slow road back with the way air travel has been impacted, let alone the dealing with the woes that they face with the 737 MAX. All right, what else we got going on? Snowflake, they're out with their IPO today. They are pricing above the range, implying an initial market cap of $33.3 billion. So the cloud company, poised to be the biggest IPO in a heavy week of tech offerings. Cloud-based data storage. They'll start trading today, announcing it was selling 28 million shares at a $120 price. Poised to debut in the New York Stock Exchange Wednesday under the ticker symbol SNOW. So look for that one. Apple, jumping around to them. So they had their big dog and pony show yesterday, talking about their new watch. The watch originally going on sale in 2015. And for the first time, they're going to be selling watches to people without iPhones. Pretty interesting to see how this shakes out. Me personally, I have an iPhone. I'm waiting for that next generation of iPhone. And it'll be really interesting to see, number one, can they produce the amount of iPhones that they maybe need? Talking about maybe 75 million iPhones. We saw yesterday Sony coming out saying that they had to cut production estimates for their new PlayStation 5 just because of the COVID pandemic, having trouble producing the amount of PlayStations that they wanted. That number down from about 15 million to 11 million. And what will also be interesting is this is going to be the first iPhone with 5G. Now, 5G is not quite in the mix yet, right? You could say that you could wait. People talking about it in the den yesterday, valid points across the board. The thing is, folks, when you buy a phone nowadays, you might have it for 3, 4, 5 years even. So there's a lot of people that if I wasn't waiting for the 5G phone, I'm giving you just my anecdotal personal experience, okay? If I wasn't waiting for a 5G phone, I may have bought the last iPhone 11 because my phone's got some problems. The home button makes some funky noises. It's a little bit outdated. But I decided to wait for the 5G, knowing that I'm going to have that phone potentially 3, 4, 5 years. I don't need the next generation of every iPhone. You know, the last one that came out, I think the camera was upgraded. You know what? The camera on my iPhone 8, it's phenomenal, folks. I don't need an upgrade just yet. But the iPhone with the 5G, that's something I might purchase. Apple's got their super cycle coming, but that was not out there in their event yesterday. A lot of the highlights having to do with Apple Watch, having to do with some of the health features in that. Jumping over to Apple. Not quite the day they probably wanted yesterday. Traded higher pre-market from about 116 to 119, and not too much of a good day. As in, there's 1 o'clock on the chart, folks. Let me zoom it in even. Here's 1 o'clock Eastern time. What time do you think that their event started at 1 p.m. Eastern time. You traded from 118 down to about 114 during that event, closed out the day with a little bit of a pop. This morning, you're trading basically flat on Apple at 115.54. All right, we talked about Adobe. We'll pull up their numbers as well. Adobe trading higher on their earnings. When we come back from the break, we'll check it out. You spiked to $522.35. We're up about $9 this morning on their earnings from $497 to $506.27. And as I said, head on over to our Facebook page, folks. Check it out. Tom did a great interview. They talk about Adobe. They talk about FedEx. He's got some great insights in there. Check that out over on the Facebook page of a TFNN. All right, what else we got going on? Checking back in on the S&Ps on this retail sales number. S&Ps right now, 3409, holding pretty steady for a pretty weak retail sales number. Stay tuned. We'll come back in 3 minutes, see what else we have on tap for Wednesday trading, folks. I'll be right back.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step-by-step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab. Bam!
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. I got the chart of Adobe up there, trading at about 508, up about $10 from yesterday's close, as we mentioned. So Adobe comes in with earnings per share of $2.57 on revenue of $3.23 billion. The market, they were looking for $2.41 on $3.16 billion. Digital media business, 19% year-over-year growth fiscal third quarter, while digital experience segment grew 7%. Quite a pop on them. Other stocks with action this morning, you have Zillow trading up a bit as you have a Deutsche Bank analyst naming Zillow a catalyst call buy. Eastman Kodak, so this is quite the story here. They're talking about it in the den. Pretty remarkable. Kodak shares up 42, 50%, something like that. I'll pull up the chart in a moment. And what I find most interesting here is you have a law firm hired by the company saying that what they did was all cool. Be wary of this stock still, folks. Nothing wrong with trading it for some volatility, that's for sure. But you have Eastman Kodak CEO, Jim Continenza, around the time of the company, learned it could receive a $765 million loan, did not violate internal policies, the law firm saying. Folks, this is a law firm that the company hired. So keep it all in context. You traded up to $11. We've already given up, you've already given up $2 of those gains at about $9. Nonetheless, the volatility continues for Kodak. Nothing about what they did seems like it was on the up and up, but nonetheless, they got a law firm they hired that's saying all is cool. However, an investigation found quote-unquote gaps in Kodak's insider trading processes where certain individuals were not included on insider lists, sent a report to a special committee of independent directors. Seems like they're trying to say, no, everything was pretty cool. We just missed a couple details, crossing those T's and dotting those I's. KB Homes, they get an upgrade. Jumping around to KB Homes, KBH. We're trading up a bit today. There's your pop to $37.89, and we'll finish it with Lennar. They had their earnings earlier in the week. Good earnings, but trading a bit, volatility lower to 76.78. And we'll wrap it up with the S&P right now, up 16 points on those retail sales, folks. Stay tuned. Should be an interesting day in the markets. It's Fed Day, folks. We'll be right back.